Definition of fiction. Fiction, derived from the Latin word fictum, meaning created, is a branch of literature that deals partly or wholly with events that are not true at the time of writing. Next, elements of fiction. Elements of fiction provide the framework that allows a story to become meaningful, coherent, and engaging for readers. There are 5 elements of fiction. The first one is characters, the second one is plot, the third one is setting, the fourth one is theme, and the last one is style. The next one is character. Character is perhaps the most important element of fiction, as things must happen to someone or something in order for a story to progress. Without characters, a story cannot really engage the reader or progress meaningfully. First, by role in the story. A. Protagonist. The protagonist is the main character of the story, often considered the hero or central figure. B. Antagonist. The antagonist is the character that opposes the protagonist. This could be a villain, a rival, society, nature, or even internal struggle within the protagonist. Second, by development and complexity. A. Round versus flat character. Round characters are complex, realistic, and show many traits and emotions. They often face inner conflicts and change throughout the story. Meanwhile, flat characters are simple and one-dimensional, defined by one main trait and serve specific roles like comic relief or support. B. Dynamic versus static character. Dynamic characters change or grow through the story, learning lessons or shifting beliefs, and static characters stay the same from the beginning to the end, providing balance or contrast to the dynamic ones.
Alright, the next element is plot. Plot is a sequence of interrelated events arranged to form a logical pattern and achieve a specific effect. Next, we will talk about plot structure. Do you know how many parts are there in plot? Excellent, there are 6 parts. So, plot is often presented as narrative structure that consists of exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So, let's understand one by one. First is exposition. This is the opening section of the plot which introduces the main characters, the setting, and the basic situation. And then the second is conflict. It is the central struggle or problem that drives the narrative. Conflict may be internal, means occurring within a character's mind, or external, which means involving opposition between individuals, group, or other force. The third one is rising action. It is a sequence of events that develops the conflict and also build tension, leading the story toward its peak. Fourth is climax. It is the turning point where tension peaks and the protagonist faces the biggest challenge, determining the story direction. Fifth is falling action. It is the stage that follows the climax, revealing the consequence of the turning point, moving conflicts toward closure. And the last one is the denouement or resolution. At this stage, conflicts are settled, uncertainties are clarified, and the story reaches its conclusion. So, you have known about all the plot structure now.
Alright, next material is elements of fiction. Are the essential building blocks that make up a story. They provide the structure and organization that help a narrative make sense and capture the reader's interest. There are 2 types of setting in fiction. First is natural setting. It's simply a backdrop when the story takes place without significantly affecting their plot or characters. For example, a generic coffee shop where the 2 friends meet serves only as a location for their conversation. In contrast, a spiritual or symbolic setting carries deeper meaning and often reflects the story theme or the character's emotions. The importance of setting lies in its ability to provide context, build mood, reinforce them, and even drive the plot forward. Next is the theme. A story functions as its deeper message, connecting their narrative to universal human experience and guide readers in interpreting the character, actions, and conflict. Authors use specific literary technique to express them, such as layered word style, thematic patterning is the repetition of a keyword or phrase to highlight a central idea, like repeatedly mentioning freedom. The importance of them is that it analyzes all elements of the story, encourage reader to reflect on life, society, and human values. In fiction, style refers to a distinctive way an author presents a story. Next, the narrator is the voice telling the story. Next is point of view, is the perspective from which is story told. Next, allegory is when the story characters and event represent larger ideas. Next is symbolism, use object or event to stand for something else. Next is tone, is the mood or attitude of the story. The last is imagery, is descriptive language that appeals to the sense.
Alright, the next style is punctuation. This is how the writer uses punctuation marks or even spacing and paragraph breaks. It affects the rhythm and mood. And then word choice, the writers carefully pick their words. Strong action words can make a scene exciting, while thoughtful words can make it feel calm or serious. And then next, grammar. It is the set of the rules of making sentence. Good grammar keeps the story clear and easy to follow. And then, imagination. This is the writer's creative power, the ability to picture new ideas, words, or feelings even without seeing them. And then cohesion. It means all the parts of the writing fit together smoothly, so the story flows and makes sense. And then suspension and disbelief. It is the reader's willingness to temporarily accept elements of a story as credible, even if they appear unrealistic like magic or talking animal. And then voice is about how actions are described. Active voice is when subject does the action, for example, the cat chased the mouse. And passive voice is when the subject receives the action. For example, the mouse was chased by the cat. And the last is show, don't tell. Instead of explaining, good writers show through actions and dialogue. For example, instead of saying she was angry, they might write she slammed the door. So, in conclusion, fiction plays an essential role in literature by presenting imaginative stories that reflect human experiences. Its 5 elements, character, plot, setting, rhythm, and style, combine to build coherent and meaningful narratives. So, that's all about our material fictions. Thank you for watching.